Hello, my name is Katrina Mulder, and for my annotated bibliography project, I chose to research the impacts of mental health courts have on recidivism. I believe that this is an important topic with many issues present because of its lack of proper research, leading to many inconsistencies within research and even inconsistencies present in the courts itself, skewing validity. The mental health courts have no standard structure for its functioning, and they also rely heavily on outside partnerships. This leads to inconsistencies in practices, which can skew the understanding of its real impacts on recidivism. It's imperative that we understand the real impacts of these courts and what methods work and which ones do not, to achieve the best impacts it has on its participants. Mental health is a serious topic, and our system has historically criminalized these individuals. Incarceration has proven to worsen mental issues, so it's important to make sure that the methods used in the mental health courts are progressive and beneficial for participants, as well as society as a whole. I picked an array of sources that included in-depth information on the functioning of mental health courts, as well as studies conducted on measuring the effectiveness the courts have on recidivism. These specific sources are important to my overall understanding of the mental health courts and to view where previous research have made mistakes to reach the proper level of validity in my own research. It's imperative to understand how the mental health courts run and how its programs impact the functioning of the courts. The impacts of judges, prosecutors, defense attorneys, and other specialized personnel, along with the support of social functioning, finding employment, housing, treatment, and other supportive services, are important to take note of. This can help understand mechanisms through the mental health courts that result in the impacts on recidivism. Some resources that I used also included information about previous research on the impacts of mental health courts have on recidivism, as well as issues of validity present in the studies. It's important to understand past faults such as bias, variability of definitions and measurements, and the length of studies conducted that may skew the validity of information to help me not make the same mistakes. I came across many faults in general information that I would have not accounted for without the proper knowledge and research from these sources I found. A concept that I viewed through my research was conscious and subconscious sampling bias. Many previous studies conducted did not properly represent the individuals going through the mental health courts. There were failures to consider characteristics and behaviors of these individuals that resulted in high risks of subconscious bias in 85% and moderate risk in 15% of 20 cases studied by Desmond Long and partners in the effectiveness of mental health courts in reducing recidivism and police contact, a systematic review. It's important to properly represent the population of a study that you conduct, as reducing recidivism is not explained with one explanation and is complex, as humans themselves are also complex beings. There are many factors that should be accounted for, and viewing these factors that were left out again supports my future research to make sure I don't repeat the mistakes in previous studies. To combat this misrepresentations and overgeneralization of individuals in these mental health courts, I would use replication of the study to confirm or question the findings in these previous studies. Errors are flooded through previous studies, such as inaccurate observations and measurements, selective observations, and half-life facts, contributing to the unclear effects mental health courts truly have on recidivism. There are methods to properly conduct thorough research, and these errors will help me build a firm foundation to conduct the most accurate research possible. The most interesting findings for my project was the fact that mental health courts have such unclear results. It's hard to decipher the real impact it has on recidivism. I've done brief research on mental health courts prior to this class, and all the resources I've found concluded that the courts do reduce recidivism. After diving deeper this semester, I have found that this is only partially true and concluded with many validity issues. I think understanding the court's functioning and impact on participants is very important. Therefore, I would pick this topic again. Although this research would be very difficult, and there are likely structural barriers preventing the validity of these studies, it's still important to contribute as much information as possible to combat this issue of inconclusive results. In my opinion, mental health courts can be truly beneficial if used properly, and to be sure it's being used properly, there needs to be studies on what is effective and what is not. Real lives can benefit from these courses, therefore, it's utmost important to be used at their full potential. I hope this topic influenced you to understand the validity of programs are detrimental to making real impacts on the criminal justice system. Thank you for your time, and I hope you have a great summer break.